You grew up knowing the Lord, right? Do you have any idea, or could you tell us what were the influences that helped you to know the Lord growing up? The reason
Yeah,
I ask it, Ralph, is because many a parent is wondering, what should I do? How am I going to help my child to
yeah.
go in the faith? Well, how would you paint that picture?
Well, I would say it was the example of my parents.
Uh-huh.
They believed, and they just expected us to believe, and we did. Um, they
Hmm.
wouldn't miss mass on Sunday, and they wouldn't let us miss mass on Sunday either. But I'd say more than that. My mother, I know, read the Thomas A Kempis Invitation of Christ. She just read a little bit very quietly, type of thing.
Hmm.
My dad, when we went to benediction, and we sang "Holy God, we praise Thy name," he just sang it with his whole heart. Like I just felt like, wow, my dad really is pouring out his heart to the Lord, singing "Holy God, we praise Thy name." And they sacrificed to send us to Catholic schools. I don't. I'm living here in Ann Arbor, where the University of Michigan is, and I can't see how any Catholic parent could send their kid here, to tell you the truth. And it's just, maybe they could get connected with the right group, but the overall environment is toxic to faith. It's a totally woke culture. It's totally pro-abortion. It's totally everything under the sun. And so many parents are into prestige for their kids. I want to send my kid to a prestigious college or prestigious university. And they're not thinking about their kid's salvation. They're not thinking that the primary value that they need to have is, I want my kid to end up with the Lord.
Hmm.
I want my
Hmm.
kid to know the Lord. I
Hmm.
want my kid to end up in heaven rather than hell. And they don't make decisions in light of that ultimate value. So sending me to a Catholic school, Catholic grade school. In those days, the Sisters of Charity at Convent Station really believed the faith and really taught it. And I believed it. What they taught me, I believed it. It made sense. I memorized the catechism questions. I understood to some degree what the sacrifice of Jesus did for me. And then during Lent, um, my parents, really on Good Friday, for example, they had 3 hours of silence. We couldn't do anything except something holy, or at least nothing. Yeah. And I remember they gave me a prayer book, and I remember under my covers at night with a flashlight praying this prayer. I didn't understand all the words of the prayer, but it talked about the ignominious sufferings of Jesus. And I just felt like there's a depth here. There's something real here. There's something about Jesus here. And all those things, I think, contributed
Yeah.
to me
Right.
growing up believing.
Right. Thank you for that, because it echoes my experience and so many others. It's the family is crucial, right? It's just absolutely crucial
Mhm.
to creating an incubator of faith. So there's seeds planted, and you're not exactly sure how they're planted or when they're planted, but they're planted, right? And like the parable of the seeds, you'll find the right soil. It'll take a while to grow.
Yeah.
So even if you wander, there's still. So thank you for that.